So good to see you, June. So thrilled you're back on Broadway. How's it feel to be coming back in this play?
Well, it feels great. I love the play. I had seen it at the Mark Taper.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Before it came into New York 10-some years ago. And then reading it again was very exciting, really. I mean, I remembered it, but to get those words,
Yeah.
It's a wonderful play.
11 years ago, when you saw it at the Mark Taper, a different world we were in.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Nobody knew about holograms. Yeah. I mean, to that extent, that they would come into our lives.
Yeah, and it's actually interesting to think that, like, right now it feels so today, and then 10 years from now it might just feel like not even something to discuss, because the world is
Doesn't
moving.
Everybody have a prime?
Right, yeah, exactly. So we are dealing with the world of primes, right? And Marjorie is sort of interacting right at the top of the play with her husband as a prime, right? But it's sort of a younger
version, a
specific
30-year-old version of her husband.
Right.
I play Walter Prime,
Yeah.
and basically I am an AI of Marjorie's deceased husband when he was younger.
Right. And hotter, maybe.
Well, that's very kind of you to say.
I mean, that's sort of in the script.
Yes.
She
I actually think the character's described as not too handsome. Okay, so that's like a humbling thing to read and be cast and be like, okay. But no, it's the idea is that she's suffering from dementia, and the role of the prime is to provide companionship and also to essentially absorb her memories so that it can reflect them back to her as she's losing these memories.
So what are primes? We're in a world. I mean, you find out right off the bat. So
Yeah, we're in a world where they're described in the play.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, in the writer's notes as holograms.
Oh. Okay.
But they're there, up there with you, and they talk to you, and they are memories
Right.
of the person that you lost.
Right.
And they're there to comfort. And so the play becomes about not only loss, of course, but how you remember people, and maybe even how you fix things that didn't work in real life.
Right, because you're choosing what version of the person you are continuing to live with.
Yes, exactly right.
Yeah.
You're choosing what to tell them.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them about something that happened, something very negative that happened?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them about the terrible fight that you had? Or do you want to kind of make that go away?
Yeah.
And be not part of their personality at all. It's really a beautiful, psychological, interesting play.
I feel like the play actually maybe sees positives. Do you think what do you think the play is sort of grappling with? And in rehearsal, when
I absolutely think so.
Yeah.
The primes definitely provide healing.
Yeah.
A certain amount of healing, but that's the questions of the play. They wrestle with these facts, whether you can fully ever heal from the things that have happened to you in your real life,
Right.
despite creating this scenario with this new person, in quotes. You have to deal with your issues, and that's what it all comes down to at the end.
But I think at its core, it's really about what do we pass on as the narrative of our family? Do we take the shadows out, or do we include them? Do we want to tell a kind of a more fairy tale, rosy version of what happened in our lives? Or do we want to say, this happened, or I did this bad thing, or you did this bad thing to me? Do we want to acknowledge the pain?
Yeah, we know right off the bat that Marjorie is with a prime, or that's what they're called. That is sort of a younger, idealistic version of her
husband,
lost
of my
husband.
dad, right?
Yeah.
And at first you think, well, that's really strange, and you think, oh, well, she could pick her husband at any age. She wanted him when he was young and hot, and then pretty soon after that, you realize that it's more. Maybe that's true too, but that it's more complicated. That actually she wants a version of her husband that hasn't experienced this tragic event that wrecked their lives.
This is also a play about caregiving, right?
Yeah.
And you obviously have spoken very publicly and lovingly of losing your wife, Rebecca. Yeah. And this is a play that's very much about holding on to memories and holding on to people. What is it like for you personally to be dealing with topics like this?
It is, I've been through a lot in my life, but caregiving is probably the hardest thing I've ever done. And Cynthia and our characters, deal with somebody who needs great care. And it's already a dysfunctional family. And so working that out, I mean, I have a lot of experience to pull from. So you grapple with very difficult issues, and you're thrown in this awful, awful situation where you're caring for someone who's slowly, losing their mental faculties, and it's hard some days.
Plays like this offer a lot of healing for audiences, but what is it like as an artist in the work to be dealing with it? Do you also have your own journey you go on?
The whole play is one big healing event for me. I really do. Unfortunately or fortunately, I have a lot of experience in many of the areas that the play deals with. I think this is the right time and the right role and the right play for me.
So what is it like navigating these conversations with a 95-year-old co-star, June Squibb? What is it like being in the room with her, having these conversations?
I mean, she's just incredible. I mean, this is the age that I met her, but I think if I had met her at 40, she would have been this incredible. I feel like Annie Kaufman, our director, does a really great job of turning to June and asking her these difficult questions like, what do you think about death? Do you think about it a lot? Are you afraid about it? How do you want to die? Do you want to die in your sleep, or do you want to die with everyone around you? And also, how do you react to the ways in which, as an old person, people treat you perhaps as if you were a child, kind of speak to you kind of like you're a kid, or that, June's hearing seems perfect, by the way. But it's really interesting to get her take on all those things.
It sounds like in the rehearsal room, a lot of the conversations are really coming up, right? About being someone of your age and about looking at mortality and about...
No, and Annie will say to me, well, you tell us what the age, how you feel about this,
Do you like that? Do you like exploring all that?
I mean, I am not upset about being this age. I am not afraid of it.
Right.
And I figure when I go, I'll go. So I just, I'm living my life. It's as simple as that.
I'm starting to think June is maybe AI. Like her ability to talk about, like, oh, I remember seeing that movie at the Art House in Philadelphia in 1940. Like it's incredible.
Yeah.
Working with her is just a dream come true. I mean, I'm literally working with a legend of stage and screen.
Yeah.
What's not to love? So
how do you feel about all this stuff, technology and?
I'm happy. I can't even use my iPhone properly yet.
I don't know if I believe that. You can take a photo.
I can
text somebody.
I can text them. I can use Instagram. But there are a zillion things that it can do that I have no idea.
So you're not dipping your toes into ChatGPT and...
The words "hell no" come to mind. No, it's so not me.
Talk about that. Why?
Because I like talking to people more. I like not having immediate answers all the time. I sometimes don't look stuff up on the phone because I want to try harder to remember. Or I feel like I'll phone a friend. I will call a friend and talk to them. Those kinds of connections are something to me that you just can't have with a machine. I mean, it may provide temporary comfort for you, but the real connection between two human beings is something that is unique and beautiful and chemical and should not be taken for granted.
What about Cynthia in real life, dealing with this technology and this world? I mean, this play was written a decade ago, but it's about right now.
Yeah, I'm somebody who loves to look things up on Wikipedia. I love having all that information right at my fingertips to ask my Google Home, whatever. But I am not a ChatGPT person. I'm not someone who wants AI to write something for me, or no.
as someone who's personally very anti-AI,
Okay.
I think
That's
one
a
of
theme so far among your cast.
yeah, is it good? I love hearing that. One thing that I do love is, in at least in the context of this play, it is all in pursuit, ultimately, of human connection and trying so desperately to bridge these gaps with the people that we love.
So why are you so anti-AI? You know, you can save a lot of time. You can, you know, you have limited time in the day.
Yeah, you know what else is limited? Water and power. And so that's what I'm focused on. I'm into the idea of like AI making breakthroughs in cancer research. Like I'm on board. But the idea of AI replacing art or human companionship, which are like two of the distinguishing characteristics of our species, I think that's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
But that's me.
What do you think about this, the concept of primes and
Well, I think it's part of what we're in and coming into even more. And I think we've got to deal with it. I think we have to figure out and know how it will help us. Now, we already know how it can hurt us and harm us. And I think we have to be strong about that. I'm not saying you give in and just let it happen, but I think it's going to happen. And so we have to deal with it.
I have to tell you, as the cast member most in their prime, you seem most open to it out of all of your co-stars.
Oh, really? Isn't that fun? Well, maybe I feel where I am now, it's not going to bother me too.
Right.
Except if I decide I want a prime of my own, and then.
Well, what do you think of that idea? What do you think about that
I don't think
concept?
that's such a bad idea. I don't. It's hard to understand what it will help, what it will do. But it's not hard to say it's another way, you know, of the elderly, certainly, keeping up to date on things.
So 50 years from now, if your prime is sitting here with my prime, doing
having this conversation,
for some reason, what do you want your prime to make sure they get right about you, remember correctly about you?
That I didn't support AI, that I was terrified of it. Okay, and who better to communicate that than my AI, my prime?
If many years from now, there's a prime of me sitting with a prime of you, what do you want to make sure that prime remembers correctly about you?
That she had a good time. She had a good time in New York, and she had a good time in Los Angeles.